My recent review of a tablet with a fruit logo brought a couple of you asking about a good Android alternative in the comments. And yes, there are actually some really good ones out there that cost nearly half as much as an iPad Pro cost, with some added benefits. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow, and let's revisit the Huawei MediaPad M5 Pro, which is actually one of my favorite Android tablets of this year. I've said it repeatedly, I rely heavily on tablets for things I can't use a laptop for in my workflow. You guys know I travel a lot, so battery life for me is key as I script my videos entirely on tablets, and then use these as my guide for my shot list. I also love the form factor of a tablet because they feel like a notepad, at least most of them. So for me, tablets have to achieve three key essentials. Number one, they have to be thin and light. For me, that feel of the notepad has to be there. Number two, they have to be durable. I haul them around a lot, so glass on glass is not necessarily my favorite approach. And number three, they have to have stylus support. So for me, one of my favorite alternatives was actually this MediaPad M5 Pro, which we saw at MWC and which my colleague Anton reviewed post MWC. So let me begin this video by telling you what I like about this tablet. For starters, the hardware. I never thought I'd say that I prefer gold in a tablet, but the aluminum finish on this one does a really good job in deterring fingerprints. I also never thought that I'd like a tablet with a 16:10 aspect ratio, but because this one weighs only a little more than a pound, the weight distribution is really on point. A wide aspect ratio means a better experience for watching typical video standards. We've got a 10.8-inch IPS LCD at 2560 by 1600. That's very bright and vibrant. And then the cherry topper for content consumption are these four speakers tuned by Harman Kardon.
However, is at how the Pixel uses the added space on either side of the notch.
These are seriously some of the best speakers in the industry, hands down. And then there's this M Pen by Huawei, which honestly surprised me. I never thought that it would be this good. Latency is seriously not an issue, and the feel of the tip reminds me of the Surface Pen. And best of all, it charges through USB-C, so no need for spare batteries or gimmicks. For me, really, the stylus is all about highlighting my scripts, and OneNote for Android is my tool of choice in this combination. But I feel that probably the most important reason why I recommend this tablet is because, as I've mentioned, you've got great hardware, you've got a great display, you've got the stylus support, and this tablet costs a little more than $400 if you go to stores like B&H, which for me is just surprising. I mean, if you compare this to the only other tablet that I would say that competes with this one in the Android space, which would be the Samsung Galaxy Tab N4, that one is $250 more expensive. Not the problem you have here, and let me not even compare this to an iPad when it comes to the price tag. Now, there is a very interesting trend happening lately when it comes to Android tablets, I think to keep the price down, and it's the fact that they launch with last year's specifications. So that's something that I'm a little mixed with, and I do believe that some of you might be concerned. Tucked inside, we've got a Kirin 960 processor with 4 gigs of RAM, options for 64 or 128 gigs of storage, a 7500 milliamp hour battery, and certain models do include LTE connectivity. The thing is, even if EMUI is not my favorite coat of paint, I really wouldn't be concerned about the specs. I mean, this tablet does perform great. It glides through menus well, it launches applications quick, and I love that the Google feed is accessible from the launcher, which is really hard to find lately. Also, there's this cool trick as the tablet does support desktop mode. Those of you looking to work in multiple windows on Android can do so by just switching it on. Best of all, the USB-C port on this tablet can actually be used for things we regular consumers use it for. If you've got flash storage and you want to connect it and you want to use the file manager, this tablet actually does have that option. Another advantage with EMUI, honestly, is just like in the case of every Huawei phone that I've reviewed, battery life on this tablet is actually quite epic. I've ended days just fine with it, but probably the coolest part is because I've been reviewing so many tablets lately, I literally left this tablet alone for about 2 weeks, and I had no idea that it was on, and by the time that I switched it on again, I believe it still had like 67% battery, so definitely standby time on this tablet is great. Seriously, I'm not saying that EMUI is great, wow, it does a really good job at just zipping on power while you're not using it. Now, I can't really say that there are things that I don't like about this tablet, but of course there's no such thing as a perfect product, so there are things that could improve, like for example the fact that this tablet is still on EMUI 8 on top of Android Oreo, and I don't know what Huawei's track record is when it comes to updating tablets. I do know that they do a good job on phones, so I'm hoping that that's gonna get fixed soon. And then the second thing is, honestly, the design of this form factor. I mean, this tablet was designed to be used in landscape mode, which is fine. I mean, you've got the logo at the bottom, you've got the camera at the top, but the biggest problem is the fact that you've got the home button, which is the fingerprint scanner, and also dubs as a way to navigate on the side, and then you've got the buttons on the side. These things are fine so long as you're using them horizontal, but the problem is when you flip it into vertical, these buttons are at the bottom, and the home button makes sense to be at the bottom. That's fine. But then you've got the power and the volume buttons at the bottom, which is kind of awkward, I guess. I find myself, like when I use it in portrait mode, I'm like, where are the buttons? They should be here on the side and they're not. So that's honestly a design choice that I don't really understand, but I think that that's just me nitpicking. I don't think that it's necessarily an issue because you could still turn on the tablet with the home button, which is an advantage. To conclude, well, you guys asked me for a good Android tablet, and I believe this is it. Not just a great content consumption device, but good for productivity, good in battery life, and seriously, a very good deal if you consider all the features you're getting for the price. It's definitely not perfect, but I feel that the things that I could complain about could be fixed with a software update. And seriously, for a little more than $400, it's really hard for me to recommend any other tablet in that price range. I feel that this is definitely the better buy. Let us know what you think about the Huawei MediaPad M5 Pro in the comments down below. And while you're at it, make sure you follow us on social media and subscribe to both our channels, English and Spanish, for more videos like this one. You can follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera, on Instagram at Jaime Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.